dear students. So in the next previous session we have seen various questions on the down and up operation. I think all of you followed that session, and next now we are going to understand what actually the use of this down and up operation and how they are used to provide synchronization to any kind of problem. Right. So we have not seen like how this down and up operation will be used for synchronizing the processes. Okay. So till now what we have seen is only normal questions on the down and up operation. Now we are going to understand how they will be used to provide synchronization to the processes. Now if you observe in the previous sessions we have seen the producer consumer problem. Now tell me, in the producer consumer what problem we had? कुछ problem आया था, याद है सबको? Right, in the producer consumer we had a problem of what? Inconsistency. Okay, very good. Okay, so how that problem will be avoided and how we are going to provide correct solution for producer and consumer, that we are going to study now. How we are going to provide synchronization to the producer and consumer, that we are going to study now. Okay, so next आप लोग heading लगाओ. So keep the heading classical problems of IPC. Classical problems of IPC. IPC means what? Inter process communication. Keep the heading. No doubt, classical problems of IPC. Okay, keep the heading classical problems of IPC. IPC means what? Inter-process communication. Now remember, in the classical problems of IPC we are going to study producer consumer problem, and next readers writers problem and dining philosophers problem. Listen carefully. So in the producer consumer we are in the classical problems of IPC we will study what? Producer consumer problem, readers writers problem and dining philosopher problem. Is that clear? Right. So so I think all of you kept this heading right. In the classical problems of IPC we will study three things. Producer consumer, readers writers and dining philosopher. So first keep the heading producer consumer with semaphore. Producer consumer with the semaphore. So the concept is same only, but the solution approach is what? Different. Okay, so how semaphore will now provide the synchronization to the producer and consumer, that we are going to study now. Okay, so now copy the code please. Copy this. I think all of you remembered the concept of producer consumer. Okay, producer consumer with semaphore. So I am just removing this. Okay. Please copy this. We are going to solve various questions on this also. So that's the code of producer. If the board is not visible, just wait. I will just go aside. थोड़ा 1 मिनट रुक जाओ. Okay. कॉपी करो. मैं 5-10 सेकंड्स रुक जाता हूँ. पूरा अच्छे से कॉपी करो. पास कर लो आप. वीडियो पास करके कॉपी करो. वीडियो पास करो, अच्छे से कॉपी करो. Okay. Now understand here. So next, let's move on to this. What is the meaning of this producer consumer with semaphore? Let's try to understand. So this is the code of the producer process, and this is the code of the consumer process. Okay. Now, so we'll just go to the code first. We'll understand what is the meaning of all this, and later we'll do the analysis. Okay. Same thing. And you know the concept already. So what is the concept now? Tell me. Okay, we are having two processes, producer and consumer. We are having two processes, producer and consumer, and we are having common shared buffer here. And producer will keep on producing the items into buffer, and consumer will keep on consuming the items from the buffer. And buffer is having n slots, that is 0 to n minus 1. So n equal to 8 here. So 0 to 7 total n slots are there. So what we are trying to do? We are trying to provide synchronization to the processes, to the producer and consumer, to access the common shared buffer. Okay. So if you observe this diagram here, what is missing in the diagram compared to your previous diagram? Same previous diagram producer consumer का जो था उससे compare करें तो इसमें क्या missing है बताओ? Count is missing. Very good. So in place of count, we are going to use the semaphore operations. In place of count, we are going to use the semaphore operations. Okay. So first, I will just go to the code first. Okay. So make a note of all this properly. So first, semaphore mutex equal to 1. Now remember, this is the code of the producer consumer with the help of what? Semaphore. Is that clear? So this is the correct solution for producer and consumer. So how it is correct? We will do the analysis. You will understand. Don't worry. So first, okay, semaphore mutex equal to 1. Now what is mutex here? Mutex is a binary semaphore. Mutex is a binary semaphore used by producer and consumer in a mutual exclusive manner. Okay, mutex is what? A binary semaphore used by producer and consumer, okay, to access the buffer in a mutual exclusive manner. Binary semaphore. Note down. Make a note of this. Note down the point. Note down. Mutex is a binary semaphore. Mutex is a binary semaphore used by producer and consumer, to access the buffer in a mutual exclusive manner. To access the buffer in a mutual exclusive manner. Okay, so that is the mutex. And next you are having semaphore mt equal to n. Okay, no doubt. Next point, listen here. Let's know semaphore mt equal to n. What is the n value you are having? N value is how much here? 8. So semaphore mt equal to 8. So semaphore mt ये variable name है. Okay, इसमें क्या assign कर रहा हूँ बताओ? 8 assign कर रहा हूँ. I'm assigning 8. So 8 means what? Okay, when you are assigning 8 to the semaphore variable, now tell me, is it a binary semaphore or counting semaphore? Okay, obviously counting semaphore. Very good. Why? Because binary semaphore cannot take the value 8. Binary semaphore cannot take the value 8. So if you are assigning 8 to that, means obviously it is what? Counting semaphore. Now remember, mt is a counting semaphore variable, represents number of slots empty in the buffer at any point of time. How many slots are empty in the buffer? That is identified by the empty semaphore variable. Remember, initially, okay, all the slots will be what? Empty. Initially, all the slots will be empty. So that is the reason initial value कितना assign किया बताओ? 8 assign किया. Is that clear? Initially all are empty. That is the reason the initial value assigned to 8. Okay. So now understand here. No doubt. No doubt the statement. No doubt. Empty is a counting semaphore variable. Empty is a counting semaphore variable, represents number of slots empty in the buffer, empty in the buffer at any point of time. So how many slots are empty in the buffer? That is identified by the empty semaphore variable. So the next is what here? Full. Okay. Now same thing here. Full is also counting semaphore variable, represents number of slots full in the buffer at any point of time. So how many slots are full in the buffer? That is identified by the full semaphore variable. So initially, okay, how many slots will be full? Initially nothing will be full, right? Initially that's 0. So that is the reason initial value assigned as what? 0. Okay. No doubt. Make a note of this. Full is a counting semaphore variable. Full is a counting semaphore variable, represents number of slots full in the buffer, at any point of time. Number of slots full in the buffer at any point of time. So how many slots are full in the buffer? That is identified by full semaphore variable. Okay, very good. So that is about okay, semaphore variables, mutex, empty and full. Next you are having okay, this is a code of the producer, that's a code of the consumer. Just listen here. Void producer void. Okay, the answer is void means you are not passing any variable, integer item p. So you are declaring some item which you want to produce. Okay, so just declaration. And next, while true is the infinite condition. It means for infinite condition means it will keep on scheduling. Okay, जब भी schedule होगा वो चलेगा बस उतना ही. Is that clear? So next, down of empty. So first you are saying down of empty. Now it means what? Down of empty. Counting semaphore down operation. Counting semaphore down operation. Okay. So if it is a successful down operation, then you will execute the next statement. Obviously, down operation successful, then only you will continue the execution, right? So if it is successful down operation, next you will execute the next statement. And next you say down of mutex. If this is also successful down operation, then you will execute next statement. Okay, down operation successful है तो ही continue करोगे अपन. Okay, that's the same thing. Already we discussed. And next, so if this is all successful, now you are saying here, okay, whatever the item P you declared, you are producing the item in the buffer. Buffer of in में, okay, आप place कर रहे. So in will point to what? Next empty slot in the buffer. Look at here. So in is pointed to 3. Next empty slot. So next after that, you are incrementing in value in equal to in plus 1 mod n. Okay, so why you are using mod operation to repeat the values from 0 to 7? Okay, now remember in value is what? Look at here. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 के बाद in value क्या होना चाहिए? 0 होना चाहिए. अगर ऐसा repeat करना है 0 to 7 तो in okay mod operation use करना पड़ेगा. It is just like a circular queue in the data structure. Okay, so I think all of you remember circular queue. Okay, how you implement that with the help of mod only. Okay, so if I teach the data structure, then I will discuss all that. Okay, don't worry. Okay, now okay, check कर सकते हैं किसी को अगर डाउट है, अगर इन वैल्यू 7 है तो सब्स्टिट्यूट करो, थोड़ा 7 है, 7 plus 1, 7 plus 1 कितना होगा 8. So 8 mod 8 is what? 0. So 8 mod 8 is what? 0. So it means what? देखो इनका वैल्यू 7 के बाद क्या हो रहा है, वापस 0 पे जा रहा है. So if you want to repeat like that, so use a mod operation. I think I discussed, right? Okay, maybe. So next next is up of mutex. So next you are saying up of mutex, and next you are saying what? Up of full. So this is the code of the producer process, and this is the code of the consumer process. So if you observe the consumer code here, int item C, so you are okay, you are going to consume the value into this, and next while true. So same thing, while true, while okay, infinite condition. Next you are saying down of full. So counting semaphore, down operation. If it is successful, down operation, then you will execute the next statement. And the next you are saying down of mutex. If this is also successful, down operation, then you will execute the next statement. And next you are saying what? Okay, you are consuming the item buffer of out and storing in the item C. Buffer of out and storing in the item C. And the next you are saying out equal to out plus 1 mod n. You are incrementing, okay, out value, same thing. Why I am using mod operation? So same, to repeat the values from 0 to 7. And next after that you are saying up of mutex, and next you say up of empty. So this is the code of the consumer process. So next what you have to do? अभी करना क्या चाहिए बताओ? करना क्या चाहिए? We need to do the analysis and understand how the code is actually working and how the code is synchronizing, how the semaphore is synchronizing producer and the consumer. So let us do the analysis. Okay, just listen carefully in the analysis. I will show you various cases. So let's say initial value, mutex value is how much? Tell me 1. Now, okay, so initial value of mutex is 1. Okay, so initial value of mutex is 1. And next, now tell me according to the current scenario in the buffer, according to current scenario in the buffer, what is the value of empty and what is the value of full? According to current scenario in the buffer, current scenario, कितने slots full है बताओ, कितने slots full है 3. So full will be what? 3 here and empty will be 5. And remember, so total should remain as what? 8. Okay, so empty full दोनों का अगर आप ऐड करेंगे तो कितना आना चाहिए? 8 आना चाहिए. Obviously, look at here. So कितने slots empty है? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 slots are empty. So empty will be 5. And the full will be what? 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's full is 3. So total should give you what? 8. Now what I will do is, I will produce one item into buffer. I will produce one item into buffer and I will consume one item from the buffer. Okay, all the values are in front of you. So just observe how the values are changing. Remember, once my analysis is completed, you are going to solve the questions. Once my analysis is completed, you are going to solve the questions. Target is to solve the questions. मैं जो बताऊंगा वो तो समझ में आएगा. ओके, ऐसा नहीं समझने का, लॉजिकली समझना है वो सच में क्या चीज क्या कर रहा है. ओके, व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ ईच एंड एवरी स्टेटमेंट. ओके, सो यू नीड टू आंसर माय क्वेश्चंस वंस माय एनालिसिस इज डन. So that is important. So be alert. Okay, observe logically how it is working. Okay, you are not watching movie. Okay, याद रखो, right? Okay, fine. So come back to this. I'll produce one item. So I'm executing the producer. Now void producer void int item p. So let's say just declare some item. So just example item p. So some value x. Next, so while true is infinite condition. Next, down of empty. So when I say down of empty, so it becomes what? 4. Down of empty, that becomes 4. Okay, counting semaphore का down operation. याद रखो, counting semaphore का down operation. So 5 है, तो down करे तो क्या हो जाएगा? 4 होगा. Now tell me, is it successful down operation or unsuccessful? Okay, 5 हुआ तो 4 हुआ था. Okay, successful or unsuccessful? Successful down operation. If it is successful down operation, then you will say what? Down of mutex. So when you say down of mutex here, okay, now tell me, the mutex value becomes 1 to 0. Mutex value becomes 1 to 0. So that is also what? Successful down operation. So obviously if it is successful down operation, then only you will execute what? Next statement. And next, you are taking this item p and placing in the buffer of in. Now what is the item p you declared here? X. So you are placing in the buffer of in. So in is pointing to 3 here. So you are producing the item into the buffer. And next after that, next what you're saying here, in equal to in plus 1 mod n. So you are incrementing in value. So when you increment the in value, तो बताओ क्या होगा? Okay, in value क्या है बताओ? 3 है. So 3 plus 1 4, 4 mod n, n मतलब क्या है 8. So 4 mod 8 is how much? Okay, 4 only. So in value becomes what? 4 here. And next after that you say up of mutex. Look at here. So mutex value becomes 1. And next you say up of full. So when you say up of full, counting semaphore ka up operation. So when you say up of full here, so this becomes what here? 4. Okay. So now we completed producing the item. Okay. So once you completed producing the item into buffer. Now tell me, so once you produce item into buffer, how many items are there in the buffer now? 4 items are there in the buffer. Look at here. So 4 items are there. Look at here. So यहाँ पे देखो full equal to 4 and empty equal to 4 and the total remains what? 8. Total remains 8. Now what I will do is, so again, okay, I am going to consume one item from the buffer. Okay, listen here. So I have produced one item into buffer now. So next I am going to consume the item from the buffer. So let's see what is going to happen. So I am executing consumer. Observe carefully how the values are changing. So void consumer void. Okay, into item C. Okay, we are going to consume the value into this item. से में consume करेंगे. While true is infinite condition. And next down of full. Now tell me, when you say down of full, counting semaphore down operation. So let's say counting semaphore down operation, na? Okay, so down of full. This becomes how much here? 3. Now tell me, is it successful or unsuccessful? Successful down operation. So if it is successful down operation, na? So then you will say what? Down of mutex. Successful down operation है तभी तो continue करोगे. Unsuccessful है तो वहीं पे suspended list में जाएगा. All of you remembered, right? So next you say down of mutex. Successful है तो continue कर रहे हैं. So down of mutex, it becomes 1 to 0. Successful down operation, that is also successful. And next you are consuming the item buffer of out and storing in the item C. Now look at here. So buffer of out we are storing in the item C. So what is out here? Okay, out is pointing to 0. So buffer of out matlab x. So okay, so okay, sorry, that is also x, this is also x. Okay, fine. So that is also x. Okay, so इसको change करते हैं item P को समझो a समझो. Okay, so ये a होगा. दोनों ये रहा इसलिए मैं change किया. Okay, sorry. हाँ, यहाँ पे प्रोड्यूस किया था ना, राइट ए. ओके फाइन. सो कंज्यूम किया. ओके राइट. सो कंज्यूम किया यहाँ से. ओके, डोंट कंफ्यूज. सो ये वाला चलाया. सो बफर ऑफ आउट. ओके, आइटम सी. सो नाउ लुक एट आउट वाज पॉइंटिंग टुवर्ड्स 0. यहाँ पे x था, सो मैं इसको कंज्यूम किया. समझ में आया सबको, राइट? सो जो प्रोड्यूस किया था वो भी x था, तो कंफ्यूज होता बोल के जो प्रोड्यूस किया था अपन उसको a चेंज किया, तो इसलिए यहाँ पे a लिखा. ओके, don't confuse that, please don't confuse, nothing is there. Okay, right? So now okay, I have consumed the item. So consume किया अपन. consume करने के बाद next step क्या है बताओ? next statement out equal to out plus 1 mod n. so out value increment होगा. so out value क्या होगा बताओ? 1 होगा. and next उसके बाद up of mutex. now when you say up of mutex, so mutex value becomes okay 1. mutex value 1 हो गया. and next उसके बाद up of empty. now tell me, when you say up of empty, so empty value क्या था बताओ? ये 4 था. so up of empty तो कितना होगा? ये 5 होगा, right? so now look at here. so we completed consuming the item. now tell me, so once you completed consuming the item, now look at here. so how many items are there in the buffer now? 3. so look at here. so 3 items are there in the buffer. 1 2 3. now what is the okay full value? 3 here, and empty value 5, and total remains what? 8. total remains 8. Is the point clear for everyone, right? and next what I will do is I will produce one more item, I will consume one more item, but what I will do is I will take the preemption in between. so बीच में मैं preemption लेके बताता हूँ. okay, देखते हैं अगर preemption किए तो ये क्या होगा. okay, understand here. so I am executing once again. so I am executing producer void producer void producer void. okay, int item P. okay, so I am declaring some more item. so let's say int item P, and the next while true is infinite condition down of empty. so when you say down of empty, so now tell me, when you say down of empty, so empty value becomes 4. so successful down operation. okay, right? so after saying down of empty, assume that producer is getting preempted. So after saying down of empty, producer is getting preempted. I am assuming that producer is getting preempted. I told you already, preemption may occur at any point of time after completion of the current instruction. Is that clear? But remember, preemption is just a temporary stop. The process will come back and continue the remaining execution. So that you should remember. So I am assuming producer getting preempted here. So now I am executing consumer process. Okay. So if I execute the consumer, look at here, void consumer void. Void means you are not passing any variable into item C. Okay. So we are going to consume the value into this. Okay. Into that. Okay. While true. So while true is infinite condition and next down of full. Now tell me, देखो values बताओ अभी down of full करेंगे तो क्या होगा? Full value क्या है बताओ? 3 है. So down of full करे तो क्या है बताओ? 2. So down of full किया, so ये 2 हो गया. So successful down operation? Yes. So successful है, then only execute the next statement. So next you say down of mutex. So when you say down of mutex, it becomes 1 to 0. Successful down operation. And next you are consuming the item buffer of out and storing in the item C. Buffer of out and storing in the item C. Out is pointing to what? 1. So you are storing this one. Okay, consuming here and storing in the item C. Okay, item C में यहाँ पे okay store किया y. Okay, and next after that you are saying out equal to out plus 1 mod n. You are incrementing out value. So increment out value, out equal to out plus 1 mod n. So out value क्या होगा बताओ? 2 होगा. And next, so after that you are saying what? Up of mutex. Look at here. So you say up of mutex. So mutex value becomes 0 to 1. And next you say up of empty. Now tell me, when you say up of empty, so empty value is how much here? 4. So that becomes what? 5. Up of empty किया तो empty value 5 हो गया. So next, now we completed total consuming the item. So consumer को पूरा complete किया. Now once consumer is completed, now let's say producer is coming back, because producer, what happened for the producer? Preemption. Okay, preemption is just a temporary stop. Now producer is coming back. So when the producer is coming back, so it will continue the remaining execution. Remaining execution is what? Down of mutex. So when you say down of mutex, it becomes 1 to 0. Successful down operation. And next, so okay, look at here. So you are taking this item and placing in the buffer of in, producing the item into buffer. Down of mutex हो गया तो उसके बाद item P को अपन buffer में produce कर रहे हैं. So item P value क्या बताओ? B. So B is produced into buffer of in. In is pointing to 4 here. So that is producing into here. Next, so after that you are incrementing in value. So in equal to in plus 1 mod n. In equal to in plus 1 mod n. So इनको increment कर रहे हैं. So in value कितना है बताओ? 4. Okay. So in value अभी क्या हो जाएगा? 5 होगा. And next after that you are saying up of mutex. So when you say up of mutex, so mutex value becomes 1. And next you say up of full. When you say up of full, so full value becomes what? 3 here. So full value becomes 3. So up of full किया, so full value 2 था, so ये 3 हो गया. So now we completed, okay, producing the item also. ओके सो अभी क्या समझ में आया ना. ओके सो आई हैव टेकन द प्रीएम्पशन हियर, यहाँ पे बीच में प्रीएम्पशन लेके चलाया था. सो फिर से एक आइटम प्रोड्यूस किया, फिर से एक आइटम कंज्यूम किया प्रीएम्पशन लेके. नाउ बफर इज हैविंग हाउ मेनी आइटम्स हियर? 3 आइटम्स. नाउ लुक एट हियर. सो फुल इज शोइंग 3 and empty showing 5 and the total remains 8. So it means what? Whatever the way you do the analysis, you take preemption, no preemption, okay, do whatever you want, the solution always works correct. Whatever the way you can execute this, okay, preemption, no preemption, do whatever you want, the solution always works correct. So this is the correct solution for producer and consumer with the help of what? Semaphore operations. So now you are actually understanding how semaphore is used to provide synchronization to any kind of problem. Is the point clear for everyone? Right. So that is the explanation of this. Okay. So if you want to copy this, okay, you can just make a copy. Okay, if you want. Okay, I think it's not required. Okay, somebody want to copy. So I know that. So somebody want to copy, just pause my video. Video pause करके copy करो. Analysis अगर किसी को copy करना है. I think actually not required. Okay, करना है तो pause करके copy करो. Okay. So next, Now understand here. Next I am going to okay discuss the questions. Next is your job. Okay, मैंने explain किया. Okay, next okay we are going to discuss with the questions. Now tell me important point. I am asking the question to you. I am asking the question in the producer and consumer. Wherever we study producer and consumer, I told you that we need to follow two important conditions. Wherever we study producer and consumer, we need to follow two important conditions. So what are the two conditions you need to follow? I told you already, in the producer and consumer, we need to follow two important conditions. What are the conditions we need to follow? Yaad aaya? Right. Okay. Now understand here. What are the conditions you need to follow here? When the buffer is full. When the buffer is full. Yaad aaya? Right. Abhi yaad aaya. Right. When the buffer is full, producer is not allowed to produce the item. And when the buffer is empty, consumer is not allowed to consume the item. Okay. So, producer consumer mein kon, now look at here, first these two are the conditions, right? So, first agar buffer full hai, to producer is not allowed. Okay, obviously buffer empty hai, to consumer is not allowed. Now, I am asking the question to you, where I am checking these conditions here. Okay, so buffer full hai, to producer nahi chalna. Buffer empty hai, to consumer nahi chalna. So, where I am checking these conditions here. Okay, am I checking, first of all, मैं check कर रहा हूँ यहाँ पे, नहीं कर रहा हूँ. अगर करे तो कहां पे कर रहा हूं, क्योंकि ये दोनों कंडीशन तो जरूरी है, राइट? बफर फुल है तो प्रोड्यूसर तो बिल्कुल नहीं चलना चाहिए, बफर एम्प्टी है तो कंज्यूमर बिल्कुल नहीं चलना चाहिए, राइट? ओके, सो नाउ टेल मी, सो वेयर आई एम चेकिंग दिस कंडीशंस. आइडिया आपको आना चाहिए. पास माय वीडियो. मैं जब भी पास बोलता हूं तुरंत पास करना. ओके, राइट. So now, okay, so somebody got the idea, somebody still, okay, thinking, right? So don't worry. So I'll explain that. Now, okay, buffer full hai, to producer nahi chalna chahiye. Now tell me, if the buffer is full, okay, I'm writing here, buffer is full. Now tell me, if the buffer is full, what is the empty value? What is the full value? Okay. Now counting semaphore ka, if the buffer is full, बफर पूरा फुल है, बफर फुल है तो एम्प्टी वैल्यू क्या होगा बताओ? 0. और फुल वैल्यू क्या होगा? 8. सिंपल सी बात. सो बफर अगर फुल है तो एम्प्टी वैल्यू 0 होगा, फुल वैल्यू 8 होगा. नाउ रिमेंबर, इफ द बफर इज फुल, producer is still trying to produce the item. What happens? Execute the producer code, void producer void int item p while true down of empty. Now tell me, when you say down of empty here, what is the empty value you have? Empty value 0. So on 0 if we perform down operation, counting semaphore है, and 0 पे down करें तो क्या हो जाएगा? ये -1 होगा, -1 होगा, decrement by 1 होगा, counting semaphore. और ये -1 होगा. Now tell me, successful होगा, unsuccessful होगा? Unsuccessful होगा, and producer will be what? Suspended. Producer will be suspended, okay, in the down of empty here only. So it means what? What you understood? If the buffer is full, the producer will directly suspend here. So इसलिए when I was explaining, how I was explaining here, okay, if it is successful down operation, then only you execute the next statement. Remember, this is successful down operation only when the buffer is not full. If the buffer is full, empty value will be 0, and if you perform down operation, it will be suspended. So it means this down of empty is ensuring, okay, ensuring, or you say it is checking for the buffer whether it is a full or not full. अगर full है तो यहाँ पे रोक देगा process को, अगर not full है तो आप continue करोगे. Is the point clear? Now same case with the consumer. Consumer, okay, buffer empty है तो consumer नहीं चलना चाहिए. बताओ, buffer is empty. So I write here, buffer is empty. Now tell me, buffer empty है तो full value क्या होगा? 0. और empty value क्या होगा? Okay, empty value क्या होगा? 8. Okay, buffer is empty. Buffer empty है तो full value क्या होगा बताओ? 0. Okay, and empty value क्या होगा? 8 होगा. Right? So now understand here. Okay, so अगर buffer empty है, if the buffer is empty, consumer is trying to consume the item. ओके बफर में कुछ आइटम ही नहीं है और कंज्यूमर कंज्यूम करना चाह रहा है, ये पॉसिबल होगा क्या? नहीं होगा। ओके नहीं चलना चाहिए कंज्यूमर, राइट। नाउ एग्जीक्यूट करो, वाइड कंज्यूमर वाइड इंट आइटम सी वाइल ट्रू डाउन ऑफ फुल। मैंने से डाउन ऑफ फुल, व्हाट इज द फुल वैल्यू? 0। सो 0 पे डाउन किया तो क्या होगा? -1 होगा, क्योंकि ये काउंटिंग से माफ हो रहा है। एंड यहाँ पे कंज्यूमर क्या हो जाएगा बताओ? सस्पेंड हो जाएगा। सो इट मीन्स दिस डाउन ऑफ फुल इज वर्किंग एज अ बफर चेक कंडीशन। It is checking whether buffer is empty or not empty. So if the buffer is empty, consumer will stop there. If the buffer is not empty, then you proceed for consuming the item. Is that clear? So ये दो आइडिया, दोनों चीज बफर फुल बफर एम्प्टी, जो आइडिया है आपको पहले आना चाहिए। मैं जब बता रहा था तुरंत तुम्हारा दिमाग में आना चाहिए। ओके प्रोड्यूसर कंज्यूमर है तो ये दोनों कंडीशन फॉलो करना है, तो ये कहां पे हो रहा है बोल के तुमको पहले आइडिया आना चाहिए। सो यू शुड दिस गेट दिस आइडिया ओके बिफोर आई डिस्कस। ओके फाइन, ओके फाइन। सो दैट इज द ओके, so first question, okay, checking those conditions, right? So note down the next question. So I want to discuss one more question. Okay, note down the question. Question लिखो अच्छे से, क्वेश्चन लिखो। What happens, क्वेश्चन लिखो, what happens if I interchange, okay, don't copy all this, okay, what happens, क्वेश्चन लिखो, what happens if we interchange, okay, इधर देखो, यहाँ पे एक मिनट देखो इधर, what happens if we interchange down of empty comma down of mutex. Note down the question, what happens if we interchange down of empty comma down of mutex in the producer code, in the producer code. What happens if we interchange these two? Okay, so I'm just removing this. Okay, I will give you the options. So first I will give you the options. Note down the options first. So क्वेश्चन तो समझ में आया ना? क्वेश्चन में तो कोई डाउट नहीं होना चाहिए। ये दोनों इंटरचेंज करे तो क्या होगा? सिंपल सी बात है। ओके इसको मैं ऊपर लिख रहा हूं, इसको नीचे लिख रहा हूं, तो क्या होगा? ओके दैट इज द क्वेश्चन। सो नोट डाउन द ऑप्शंस। ऑप्शन ए, नो प्रॉब्लम, the solution, okay, the solution still works correct. पूरा लिखो अच्छे से, नो प्रॉब्लम द सॉल्यूशन स्टिल वर्क्स करेक्ट। ओके इसका मतलब कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, अभी भी सॉल्यूशन सही काम करेगा। ऑप्शन ए। ऑप्शन बी, बोथ प्रोड्यूसर एंड कंज्यूमर will access the buffer at the same time. Will access the buffer at the same time. Option B. Next, option C, some of the items produced by the producer, some of the items produced by the producer will be lost. Some of the items produced by the producer will be lost. Next, option D, it is possible for deadlock. It is possible for deadlock. Okay, so these are the options given to you. Question तो simple है, ये दोनों इंटरचेंज किए तो क्या होगा? ओके आई एम जस्ट गिविंग यू द स्मॉल हिंट। ओके स्मॉल हिंट मैं दे रहा हूं आपको सारे कंडीशंस चेक करना पड़ेगा। व्हाट आर द कंडीशंस? बफर फुल है तो क्या होगा? बफर एम्प्टी है तो क्या होगा? बीच में प्रीएम्पशन हुए तो क्या होगा? बीच में प्रीएम्पशन नहीं हुए तो क्या होगा? एवरीथिंग यू हैव टू चेक। देयर इज नो शॉर्टकट और एनी सिंपल ओके टेक्निक टू सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम। ओके सो ओके पॉज माय वीडियो। ओके दोनों इंटरचेंज करे तो क्या होगा? दैट इज द क्वेश्चन। आई थिंक ऑल ऑफ यू इट इज क्लियर फॉर एवरीवन। So, okay, in the exam also same thing. Some question code will be given to you and you will give the similar kind of options. Okay, so try to solve the problem. So check all possible cases. I'll wait 5 seconds or 10 seconds in the live. आप लोग pause करो, pause करके solve करो। Okay, right. So now let's see what is the right answer. Okay, so right answer is okay, D. D is the right answer. It is possible for the deadlock. Okay, so right answer is possible for the deadlock. Okay, so don't worry, I'll explain all that. Okay, so check कर लो आप लोग कैसे सोचे थे और मैं कैसे बता रहा हूँ. So पूरा सुनो अच्छे से. So I am assuming the situation. I am assuming the situation that okay, buffer is full. I am assuming the situation buffer is full. Okay, so that is the okay assumption I am taking. Okay, right. So now ये दोनों interchange करने को बोला है आपको. So if I interchange these two, यहाँ पे क्या होगा, डाउन ऑफ म्यूटेक्स है और यहाँ पे क्या होगा, डाउन ऑफ फुल होगा. राइट. सो नाउ अंडरस्टैंड हियर. सो आई एम इंटरचेंजिंग दीज टू. ओके, बफर फुल है, बफर फुल है तो एम्प्टी वैल्यू क्या होगा. ओ यहाँ पे क्या था, एम्प्टी था ना. राइट, सॉरी प्रिंटिंग मिस्टेक हो गया. राइट. ओके, सो दोनों इंटरचेंज किया. बफर फुल है तो एम्प्टी वैल्यू क्या होगा, 0 और फुल वैल्यू क्या होगा, 8. Now let us say buffer full hai. If the buffer is full, producer is also trying to produce the item. Okay. Now understand here, right answer is D here. Okay. So D is what? D में क्या दिया बताओ? It is possible for deadlock. Deadlock मतलब क्या है यहाँ पे? Deadlock means both producer and consumer both are suspended. Both producer and consumer both are suspended and nobody is continuing the execution. That is called as what? Deadlock. So आपको ये सिचुएशन लाना चाहिए. So जहां पे दोनों प्रोड्यूसर एंड कंज्यूमर बोथ आर सस्पेंडेड. So that situation is called as what? Deadlock. Now understand here. So I am assuming, okay, now buffer is full. When the buffer is full, okay, empty value will be 0 and full value will be 8. Now producer is still trying to produce item. So let's see what will happen. Integer item P, you declare some item. And next, while true is infinite condition. Down of mutex, mutex value becomes 1 to 0. Successful down operation. Down of empty. When you say down of empty, now tell me when you say down of empty, empty value क्या है, 0. So 0 पे down किए तो क्या होगा, -1 होगा. So it will be what? Suspended here. So when you say down of empty, it will be suspended here. Okay, is the point clear? Now remember, buffer full है तो producer तो suspend ही होना चाहिए. There is no problem. यहाँ पे producer suspend हो गया, ये तो सही है. यहां पे प्रोड्यूसर सस्पेंड हो गया, ये तो सही है. बिकॉज बफर फुल है तो प्रोड्यूसर को सस्पेंड ही होना चाहिए. यस और नो, राइट. सो बट रिमेंबर बफर फुल है तो कंज्यूमर चलना चाहिए, नहीं चलना चाहिए. बफर फुल है तो कंज्यूमर चलना चाहिए, नहीं चलना चाहिए, चलना चाहिए. बफर फुल है तो कंज्यूमर के लिए तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. राइट. नाउ एग्जीक्यूट द कंज्यूमर. void consumer void int item C while true. Now down of full. When you say down of full, now tell me full value becomes 7. And next, now you say down of mutex. Now tell me when you say down of mutex, what is the mutex value? Mutex value क्या है, 0. mutex value 0 है. So 0 पे down किया तो क्या हो जाएगा, suspend होगा. Look at here. Now consumer is also suspend here and producer is also suspend here. Now both are suspended and there is no other process to wake up these processes and that leads to deadlock. That leads to deadlock. Now remember, so this is the right answer. Now in this, so many students will have a doubt, sir. Okay, ये doubt होता है सर, आप जो बताया, okay, ये situation आप जो बताया, buffer equal to full लेके बताया, so whatever you explained, okay, it is fine. Okay, now when you take the buffer is full, okay, now it is deadlock is coming, that is fine. Now if I don't take buffer as full, now some students will have a doubt, sir, if I don't take buffer as full, I am taking normal value like 5 and 3 and some values you are taking. You are taking any other values other than this, sir. Then what happens? Okay, the solution works correct. Solution works correct. If you take okay other values other than this, then the solution works correct. Remember, agar okay, if you get this idea of buffer is full, if you get the idea of buffer is full, so then only you get the right answer. अगर आपको ये idea आया तो ही आपका आंसर निकलेगा. ओके, सो अभी भी किसी को डाउट होता है, सर अगर बफर फुल नहीं लिया तो कभी कभी तो ये सही काम कर रहा है. यस सर, कभी कभी सही काम करेगा. इजरली सी सोल्यूशन करेक्ट है बोल के कब बोलना चाहिए, कोई भी सोल्यूशन सही काम कर रहा है बोल के कब बोलना, वो हमेशा के लिए सही काम करना. यू कैन से द सोल्यूशन इज अ करेक्ट सोल्यूशन इफ इट इज वर्किंग करेक्ट इन ऑल केसेस. in all cases. If it is failing only in one case, अगर कोई भी एक केस ऐसा है इसमें फेल हो रहा है तो अपन क्या बोलेंगे, गलत सॉल्यूशन बोलेंगे. फेल होने के लिए एक केस काफी है, पास होने के लिए हर केस पास होना चाहिए. It is just like okay your engineering. So in engineering if you want to say okay engineering पास हुआ बोल के कब बोलते हैं बताओ. okay हर साल में, हर सेमिस्टर में, हर सब्जेक्ट में पास होना, हर साल में, हर सेमेस्टर में, हर सब्जेक्ट में पास होना, तभी तो इंजीनियरिंग पास बोलते हैं, राइट. अगर कोई भी एक सब्जेक्ट में ऐसे ही सेकंड ईयर थर्ड ईयर का ऐसे ही बैक लगा है, ओके फेल हो गया उसमें, तो इंजीनियरिंग फेल बोलते हैं, पास बोलते हैं, फेल बोलते हैं. स्टूपिड फेल, somebody saying पास, राइट. ओके राइट. सो एक सब्जेक्ट में फेल हुआ तो फेल बोलते हैं. सेम थिंग, फेल होने के लिए एक सब्जेक्ट काफी है, मगर पास होने के लिए हर सब्जेक्ट में पास होना चाहिए, right. So same manner here also, okay, in the producer and consumer, okay. So if it is correct, अगर आप बोल रहे कि ये करेक्ट है तो हर केस में सही होना चाहिए, अगर गलत होने के लिए सिर्फ एक केस काफी है. Is the point clear for everyone? Right. So that is the right answer. Okay. So next, okay. Now I am making correct, मैं इसको सही कर रहा हूं. I am changing it to original. I am making it to correct. So सही में क्या था बताओ यहाँ पे, सही में डाउन ऑफ एम्प्टी, सो डाउन ऑफ म्यूटेक्स. ओके सो यहाँ पे इंटरचेंज कर दिया. ओके सो इंटरचेंज करने के बाद सॉरी एक्चुअल सही कर दिया. सो यहाँ पे डाउन ऑफ एम्प्टी था, डाउन ऑफ म्यूटेक्स था. सो मैं इसको सही कर दिया. ओके इसको सही कर दिया, जो ओरिजिनल था वैसे ही कर दिया. सो नेक्स्ट ओके लेट्स से आई एम जस्ट राइटिंग सम वैल्यूज हियर. ओके नोट डाउन द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. नोट डाउन द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. व्हाट हैपेंस, next question, what happens if we interchange, what happens if we interchange up of mutex comma up of full, what happens if I interchange up of mutex comma up of full in the producer code? What happens if I interchange up of mutex comma up of full in the producer code? Is that clear? So same options, options are same, options are same. Think carefully, all the cases you have to check. Preemption, no preemption, buffer full है तो क्या होगा, buffer empty है तो क्या होगा, सारे cases check करना चाहिए. So same options. What happens if you interchange these two? Options are same. Think carefully and solve. I'll wait around 5 seconds, 5-10 seconds in the live. आप लोग पास करो, वीडियो पास करो. ओके राइट. सो नाउ अंडरस्टैंड हियर. सो लेट्स सी व्हाट इज द राइट आंसर. अगर कोई सा अभी भी सॉल्व कर रहा है पॉज करो, पॉज माय वीडियो. राइट. ओके सो नेक्स्ट नाउ लेट्स सी व्हाट इज द राइट आंसर. राइट आंसर इज व्हाट, ओके ए इज द राइट आंसर. ओके नो प्रॉब्लम, द सॉल्यूशन स्टिल वर्क्स करेक्ट. नो प्रॉब्लम, सॉल्यूशन स्टिल वर्क्स करेक्ट. ओके राइट. सो ये दोनों इंटरचेंज करने से कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. फर्स्ट पॉइंट, अगर किसी को प्रॉब्लम दिख रहा है, अगर किसी को प्रॉब्लम दिख रहा है, सो इन केस इफ समबडी इज फाइंडिंग द प्रॉब्लम, सो इट मीन्स व्हाट, यू आर डूइंग द रॉन्ग एनालिसिस. ओके सो एक्चुअली एवरी स्टेटमेंट आई एम रिपीटिंग हिंदी एंड इंग्लिश. okay because there may be South Indian students and North Indian students, I don't know. okay right, इसलिए okay please don't mind to cover up all that. okay पूरा हिंदी में बोले तो साउथ इंडियन वाले okay बहुत लोग रहेंगे. somebody may be there from Kerala, Tamil Nadu, okay maybe some other places. Okay, they may not be knowing the proper Hindi. So understand here. First of all, I also don't know proper Hindi. Okay, right. Okay, fine. So come back to this. So right answer is what? No problem. Solution still works fine. So just in case if somebody finding any problem, so it means what? You are doing wrong analysis. So what wrong analysis you will do? You take the preemption here. Okay. कुछ लोग यहाँ पे preemption लेते. आप preemption ले सकते हो. No problem. Okay. Even if you take preemption here, the solution still works correct. So just listen here. Okay. So I'm interchanging this. Okay, just in case if somebody finding okay anything, so यहाँ पे क्या होगा? So up of okay full, I'm just interchanging this. So up of mutex. Okay, right. Now I'm just taking these values here. I'm just taking these values. Mutex equal to 1, empty 5 and full 3. Now so you can start with any process, producer and consumer. So I'm just starting with the producer first. So void producer void int item p while true. Okay, so next down of empty, just example. So I'm producing, I'm saying down of empty. So when I say down of empty, so it becomes 4. So successful down operation. And next you say down of mutex. Okay, it becomes 1 to 0. Successful down operation. And you taking this item p and placing in the buffer of in. And next in equal to in plus 1 mod n. Okay, so assume that I have incremented in. And next you say up of full. So full value becomes 4. Now after saying up of full, assume that producer is getting preempted. Listen carefully. Okay, producer यहाँ पे preempt हो गया. The answer सुनो अच्छे से. कुछ लोग यहाँ पे किए थे ऐसा. Producer preempt हो गया. Now they are executing consumer. Now producer is preempted here. Now I'm executing consumer. If I execute the consumer, void consumer void int item c while true down of full. Now when you say down of full, now the full value becomes what? 3. And next they say down of mutex. Now tell me when you say down of mutex, what is the mutex value? 0. So 0 पे down किए तो क्या हो जाएगा? 0 पे down किए तो क्या होगा? यहाँ पे consumer suspend हो जाएगा. Consumer suspend हो जाएगा. Now understand here. So somebody thinking this is wrong. Okay, listen to me. Consumer will be suspended. It means what? Consumer will go to what? Suspended list. Okay, I'm writing here. Mutex का suspended list में बताओ कौन जाएगा? Consumer जाएगा. Okay, consumer गया. Okay, right. So now consumer is suspended here. Listen carefully. Consumer is suspended here and producer is preempted here. जो प्रोसेस सस्पेंड हुआ उसको वापस चलाने के लिए क्या चाहिए? दूसरा प्रोसेस अप ऑपरेशन करके उसको वेकअप करना चाहिए. जो प्रोसेस प्रीएम्प्ट हुआ उसको वापस चलाने के लिए क्या चाहिए? कोई भी जरूरत नहीं है. सो अपने आप वापस आके वो कंटिन्यू करेगा. नाउ रिमेंबर कंज्यूमर इज सस्पेंडेड हियर but producer is preempted here. Remember there is no problem at all. That is just a temporary problem. So when the producer is coming back, now tell me what happens when the producer is coming back? It will say what? Up of mutex. It will execute the up of mutex. When you execute up of mutex, it will check mutex का suspended list. Okay, empty or not empty. Okay, up operation, binary semaphore का up operation. Now, okay, check suspended list empty or not empty? Not empty. So then what happens? It will wake up the consumer. It will wake up the consumer. Now look at here. So now producer is completed the execution. Okay, it will wake up the consumer. And when the consumer is wake up, okay, when the consumer will wake up, from which statement it will execute? It will execute from the next statement. Already बताया जहां पे सस्पेंड हुआ उसको छोड़ के नेक्स्ट स्टेटमेंट से चलाएगा. वेकअप मतलब वो है ऑलरेडी बताया. सो इसका मतलब ये जो प्रॉब्लम आपको दिख रहा है ये इसको प्रॉब्लम नहीं माना जाएगा. इसलिए दैट इज जस्ट अ टेम्पररी प्रॉब्लम. थोड़ी देर के लिए प्रॉब्लम है. इसलिए सी ऑब्वियसली म्यूटेक्स इज व्हाट? म्यूटेक्स इज अ बाइनरी सेमाफोर. ऑलरेडी लिखवाया पहले. म्यूटेक्स इज अ बाइनरी सेमाफोर used by producer and consumer to access the buffer in a mutual exclusive manner. इसका मतलब क्या है? जब तक ये अप ऑपरेशन अप ऑफ म्यूटेक्स नहीं करेगा तब तक वो डाउन ऑफ म्यूटेक्स को सक्सेसफुल कर ही नहीं सकता. सो अपन ये चाहते हैं कि बफर को सिर्फ एक ही प्रोसेस यूज करे, या तो प्रोड्यूसर या तो कंज्यूमर. सो जब यहाँ पे प्रोड्यूसर डाउन किया, जब तक ये अप नहीं करेगा तब तक उसको चांस मिलेगा ही नहीं. सो म्यूचुअल एक्सक्लूजन फॉलो कर रहे हैं बफर एक्सेस करने में या तो क्रिटिकल सेक्शन एक्सेस करने में. Is a point clear for everyone, right? So वो प्रॉब्लम को प्रॉब्लम नहीं माना जाएगा. That is just a temporary problem. So there is no problem. So right answer is A, right? So next, okay. So okay, I am changing it correct. So मैं इसको सही कर रहा हूँ. And the next two questions are homework questions. Okay, यहाँ पे क्या होना चाहिए बताओ? Up of mutex. और यहाँ पे क्या होगा? Up of full. Okay. So next, so ये दोनों हो गया. Now उसके बाद, now understand here, next questions, take this as a homework. So I am not going to discuss here. Okay, you have to do. I think some charting option may be available. Okay, in your portal. So please check and discuss. Okay, you may discuss with your friends. Now next question number 3. Okay, just copy like this. ऐसा लिखो. Okay, what happens if interchange these two? That's the question number 3. And same thing, question number 4. What happens if interchange these two? Okay, these two are the homework. ये दोनों interchange किए तो क्या होगा? That's the first question. उसके बाद इसको ओरिजिनल सही में एक्चुअल कर लो. उसके बाद ये दोनों इंटरचेंज किए तो क्या होगा? That is the next question. Right? So these are the okay questions okay with the producer consumer problem. Is that clear? So now in the exam also he will give the same kind of code, similar kind of code, and he will ask you like what is the correct option. That's it. So ये question solve करने के लिए okay आपको concept मालूम होना चाहिए. So पूरा story उसके बारे में मालूम होना चाहिए और preemption no preemption पूरा हर एक चीज चेक करना पड़ेगा. Is that clear? Right? थोड़ा लॉजिकल है, ऑब्वियसली धीरे धीरे इंप्रूव होगा. सो जो पहली बार पढ़ रहा है टेंशन लेने की जरूरत नहीं है. ओके, सो प्लीज फॉलो द क्वेश्चंस केयरफुली. इज दैट क्लियर? राइट. सो दैट इज अबाउट प्रोड्यूसर कंज्यूमर प्रॉब्लम. ओके ओके. So next we will move on to the next one, that is readers writers problem. So we have seen clearly the producer consumer problem okay with the semaphore, and what problems like the correct solution for producer and consumer with the help of semaphore, and we have seen various questions on that. So next okay in the continuation we will move on to the next one. Okay, next classical IPC problem. Okay, classical problems of IPC. So the next one is readers writers problem. So what is the meaning of readers writers and what we are trying to do in this? We'll understand in detail. Okay, so first you copy this. So keep the heading readers and writers. You are having multiple reader processes. Okay, copy this R1, R2, R3, R4 and multiple writer process W1, W2, W3 like this, and you are having common database. So I write here okay database, common database. Okay, so first okay note down the code. So what is the code in this readers writers? Let's copy this. Integer RC equal to 0. Semaphore mutex equal to 1. Semaphore db equal to 1. Void reader void while true. Down of mutex RC equal to RC plus 1. Remember it is RC. RC means readers count. Okay, I'll explain. Okay, पूरा मैं बताऊंगा डिटेल में. Just copy करो. RC equal to RC plus 1. If RC equal to 1, you say down of db. Next up of mutex. Down of mutex. RC equal to RC minus 1. Up of db. So up of mutex. Okay. So void reader void while true. Down of mutex RC equal to RC plus 1. So if RC equal to 1, down of db, so up of mutex. So same thing. Okay, copy this. And next writer code, void writer void while true, down of db. So common database. up of db. Okay. So this is the code of the reader process and this is the code of the writer process. So मैं साइड हो जा रहा हूँ. ओके पूरा कॉपी करो अच्छे से. I'll wait 5 to 10 seconds. 5 to 10 seconds in the live. Please pause my video and try to copy. Okay. Now, so I am assuming all of you copied. So if you are copied, you can continue the video. Okay, right. So, okay, understand here, understand the problem first. What is the meaning of readers, writers, and what we are trying to do in this. Okay, उसको समझते पहले. So, in the readers, writers, we are having multiple reader processes and multiple writer process. We are having multiple readers and multiple writers. Okay. Like for example, R1, R2, R3, R4, R5 like this, multiple readers are there and multiple writers are there, W1, W2, W3, W4 like this, multiple writers are there. Now remember, so both readers and writers, they are trying to access what? Common database. So reader process will just read the database. Reader process will just read the database and writer process will write the database. Write करना मतलब क्या है? कोई रिकॉर्ड को अपडेट करेगा. Is that clear? So reader process will just read the database and writer process will write the database. Is the point clear? Right. So now understand here what we are trying to do in this. So same thing, we are trying to provide synchronization to the readers and writers to access the common database. We are trying to provide synchronization to the readers and writers to access the common database. Now remember, while providing synchronization between readers and writers, we need to follow, okay, some important conditions. We need to follow some important conditions. Okay, now look at here. So note down, continuation, note down, 4 conditions to be followed. 4 conditions. Note down, 4 conditions to be followed. 4 conditions to be followed. So what are the 4 conditions you have to follow? आप guess कर सकते हो, you can guess. So the first condition is when the reader is already present in the database, reader is already reading the database, some other writer is trying to write. Some other writer is trying to write the database. Allowed or not allowed? Okay, not allowed. And the second condition is when the reader is already in the database, some other reader is also trying to read the database. Now tell me, allowed or not allowed? Okay, allowed. So reader is already there, other writer is not allowed. Reader is already there and other reader is allowed. So multiple readers are allowed. Now the first condition में अगर किसी को doubt है, सुनो इधर first condition बता रहा हूँ. When the reader is already there, other writer is trying to write the database, that is strictly not allowed. Why? Because you will have the inconsistent read operations. समझो for example आप कोई आपका अकाउंट में बैलेंस देख रहे हैं. Okay, so first time when you read, okay, you are getting 10,000. बीच में अगर राइटर को अलो कर दिया, राइटर will change your data account balance to 10,000 to 100 rupees. Next time when you read, okay, you get 100 rupees. So that is bad. Is that clear? Right? So इसका पूरा details, okay, उसका पूरा details, inconsistent read operations and all that, you will study all that in the database management system, DBMS. Okay, so when you study DBMS, all that you will understand. But these are the simple basics. Simple basics. आना चाहिए आपको, आना चाहिए. आएगा भी, of course आएगा सबको, right? So, okay, I am repeating. When the reader is there, other writer is not allowed. When the reader is there, other reader is also allowed. Reader is other writer not allowed. When the reader is there, other reader is allowed. Multiple readers are allowed because they are just reading the database. Okay, right? And now tell me next third condition. When the writer is already in the database, some other reader is trying to read. Allowed or not allowed? Okay, now tell me this is also not allowed. And the next fourth condition, when the writer is already in the database, some other writer is trying to write again. Right? Okay, writer is already writing the database, some other writer is also trying to write. So allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. So that is also not allowed. So what is allowed is only reader is allowed. So other than that, okay, so remaining is not allowed. Okay, so while providing synchronization between readers and writers, we need to follow all these 4 conditions. So whenever we say classical readers and writers, whenever we say classical readers and writers, okay, readers writers problem अगर आपको कोई दिया गया question में, so you need to think about all these 4 conditions. Okay, now when it comes to producer and consumer, producer consumer में what conditions you have to follow? Okay, 2 conditions you have to follow. When the producer is when the buffer is full, producer not allowed. When the consumer, sorry, when the buffer is full, producer is not allowed. Okay, when the buffer is empty, consumer is not allowed. Okay, that you should remember. Okay, so same case in the readers writers, you need to follow these 4 conditions. So I'll just go through this. Okay, I'll just go to the code first. I'll explain one by one, and later we will do what? Analysis. Same thing, we'll do the analysis. So first, okay, note down one by one. Integer RC equal to 0. See, first of all, what is the meaning of RC? RC is a reader's count. Okay, it is just an integer variable. RC is a integer variable, that is a reader's count. Okay, so reader's count that will represent number of readers present in the database at any point of time. Okay, so RC is what? Integer variable, that is reader's count. So that will tell you number of readers present in the database at any point of time. Let's say for example, in the database, okay, if RC equal to 2, it means what? 2 readers are present in the database. RC equal to 5, it means what? 5 readers are present in the database. Okay, note down the statement. Likho, notes mein likho. RC is a integer variable. RC is a integer variable represents number of readers present in the database, number of readers present in the database at any point of time. RC the readers count. Okay, so integer variable, that is a readers count number. Okay, represents number of readers present in the database at any point of time. And next, okay, next is what here? Mutex. So semaphore mutex equal to 1. What is mutex here? Mutex is a binary semaphore. Listen carefully. Mutex is a binary semaphore used by both readers. Okay, so used by only readers. Okay, to access the database in a mutual exclusive manner. Okay. Now you can write simple manner. Mutex is a binary semaphore used by the readers in a mutual exclusive manner. See, mutual exclusive manner means what? One by one they will make use of that. मतलब एक रीडर अगर म्यूटेक्स को एक्वायर किया, so जब तक वो रिलीज नहीं करेगा दूसरा रीडर को म्यूटेक्स नहीं मिलेगा. So that is the meaning of that. Okay, so note down. Mutex is a binary semaphore used by the readers in a mutual exclusive manner. Used by the readers in a mutual exclusive manner. Okay, full stop. Right, next. Now coming to the next one, semaphore dB equal to 1. Okay, understand here. So what is the meaning of dB here? Okay, listen here. dB is also a binary semaphore used by both readers and writers in a mutual exclusive manner. Okay, understand here. So dB is also binary semaphore, but this is used by what? Both readers and writers. Okay, note down the next statement. dB is a binary semaphore. dB is a binary semaphore used by readers and writers in a mutual exclusive manner. Used by readers and writers in a mutual exclusive manner. Okay, right. So that is the meaning of okay, dB. Next, now this is the code of the reader process and this is the code of the writer process. If the reader wants to okay read the database, it will make use of this code, and if the writer wants to write the database, okay, it will make use of this code. Okay, right. So I will just go to the code first, and later I will show you what? Analysis, and after my analysis, you will have the questions. Is that clear? So answering the questions is important. Okay, so listen carefully. So void reader void. Void means what? You are not passing any variable. Void means you are not passing any variable. So next is what? While true. While true is what? Infinite condition. And next, okay, down of mutex. So when you say down of mutex, so it means what? Binary semaphore ka down operation. Is that clear? So down of mutex. And next, RC equal to RC plus 1. RC equal to RC plus 1. Okay, remember initially RC value will be what? 0. So initially there is no reader present in the database, so initial value 0 hi rahega. So next RC equal to RC plus 1, you are incrementing readers count because reader is trying to enter into database. So you are incrementing RC value. So that is RC equal to RC plus 1. And next, now you are saying if RC equal to 1, you say down of dB. Remember, RC equal to 1, then you will say down of dB. So this down of dB is inside this if condition. Okay, if you want, you can write this open braces here and closing braces here. Okay, so if you are having only one statement, so open braces and closing braces is not required. Okay, so if you are having only one statement inside the if, only open and close is not required. So I think all of you know this already, right? So now it means what? So down of dB is what? Inside the if condition. So if RC equal to 1, if this condition is true, then you will say what? Down of dB. So otherwise you will directly say what? Up of mutex. Okay, so remember up of mutex else में नहीं है. अगर ये कंडीशन ट्रू है तो आप ये चलाओगे. सो ओके, उसके बाद पक्का ये स्टेटमेंट तो चलाओगे. इज दैट क्लियर? राइट. सो ये कंडीशन ट्रू भी होने दो, ये कंडीशन फॉल्स भी होने दो. ओके, दिस अप ऑफ म्यूटेक्स तो चलेगा ही चलेगा. अगर इफ कंडीशन, अगर ये कंडीशन ट्रू है, देन व्हाट हैपेंस? देन दिस विल डेफिनेटली एग्जीक्यूट. अगर ये कंडीशन फॉल्स है, अगर ये कंडीशन ट्रू है, इट विल एग्जीक्यूट एंड दिस विल आल्सो एग्जीक्यूट. अगर ये कंडीशन फॉल्स है, देन यू विल एग्जीक्यूट ओनली अप ऑफ म्यूटेक्स. I think you can understand simple program. उतना explanation की जरूरत नहीं है, right? So now understand it. So if RC equal to 1, you say down of dB. Otherwise, you will say what? Up of mutex. So then up of mutex. उसके बाद क्या होगा? Then the process will enter into what? Database. Then the process will enter into database. And next, while leaving the database, okay, it will access the database and it will read the database whatever, okay, it is required. And next, once it is completed reading the database, while leaving the database, जब database छोड़ के बाहर जा रहा है, तो क्या कर रहे हैं बताओ? यू आर सेइंग डाउन ऑफ म्यूटेक्स. एंड नेक्स्ट यू आर डिक्रीमेंटिंग RC वैल्यू, RC इक्वल RC minus 1. So obviously, okay, the process is leaving the database. Okay, reader is leaving the database, so obviously reader count को decrement कर रहा है. And next, if RC equal to 0, okay, it means what? If all the readers are left out the database, and then you are saying what? Up of dB. And next you are saying what? Up of mutex. Okay, so that is the code of the reader process. And next, this is the code of the writer process. So if you see the writer's code here, void writer void. Okay, void means you are not passing any variable. While true is infinite condition. And next you will say down of dB. If it is successful down operation, then the writer will enter into database and it will write the database here. And while leaving, you say what? Up of dB. Okay, so this is the code of the reader process and that is the code of the writer process. So now let's try to understand here. So what we have to do now, tell me? We need to do the analysis and understand how the code is actually working. Okay, so how it is synchronizing the readers and the writers. So let us do the analysis. मेरे साथ में करो. ये इसका analysis जो है मेरे साथ में करो. बहुत सारे questions करना है इसके ऊपर. Okay, बहुत सारे questions करना है. So मेरे साथ में करो. Note down analysis 1. Note down analysis 1. Okay, analysis 1 में write down the initial values. RC equal to 0, mutex equal to 1, so dB equal to 1. Okay, so nobody is there in the database. So I am writing initial values here. Copy karo. Analysis 1, RC equal to 0, mutex equal to 1, dB equal to 1. Nobody is there in the database. Okay, so now first let us do the analysis. So analysis में क्या करूँगा मैं? So look at here, if you observe these conditions here, when the reader is there, writer is not allowed. When the reader is there, other reader is also allowed. So we need to check all these conditions carefully. Now first, reader is there, other writer not allowed. Reader is there, other reader is not allowed. Reader is allowed. So if you want to check these two conditions, what you have to do here? So first you need to bring the reader into database. Then check for other writer and then check for other reader. Okay, so that's what we have to do now, right? So understand carefully. Okay, listen here. Now first, okay, we'll bring the reader into database. I'm executing the reader code. मेरा साथ में value change करो. You can please do the analysis and change the values along with me. Okay, right? So void reader void. While true is infinite condition. Down of mutex. Now tell me, when you say down of mutex, so mutex value becomes 1 to 0. Successful down operation. Successful down operation. Okay. Successful down operation. Next, after this, okay, you are incrementing RC value. RC equal to RC plus 1. So RC value क्या हो जाएगा? 1 होगा. Is that clear? करो, अपडेट करो, मेरे साथ साथ में अपडेट करो. कुछ लोग देख रहे हैं ऐसे ही. वैल्यूज लिख के अपडेट करो मेरे साथ साथ में. RC वैल्यू 1 हो गया. नेक्स्ट, उसके बाद इफ RC इक्वल टू 1 ना, डाउन ऑफ DB, RC इक्वल टू 1. नाउ टेल मी, RC इक्वल टू 1 ना, ट्रू और फॉल्स? ओके, RC इक्वल टू 1, यू से डाउन ऑफ DB. RC इक्वल टू 1, ट्रू और फॉल्स? ट्रू. RC इक्वल टू 1 ट्रू है. ट्रू है तो क्या करोगे? डाउन ऑफ DB करोगे. सो व्हेन यू से डाउन ऑफ DB, इट बिकम्स 1 to 0. सक्सेसफुल डाउन ऑपरेशन. Next you will say what? Up of mutex. So when you say up of mutex here, up of mutex, mutex value becomes 0 to 1. Okay. Now up of mutex करें तो, so ये value 0 to 1 हो गया. Now tell me, up operation is always successful and then the reader will enter into what? Database. Okay. So reader अभी database में आ रहा है. So यहाँ पे लिख रहा हूँ, reader 1 is coming into database. लिखो, आप लोग भी लिखो, analysis मेरे साथ साथ में करने को बोला मैं. So reader 1 database में आया. राइट. सो अब बताओ, सो अभी क्या करना चाहिए? व्हाट यू हैव टू डू नेक्स्ट? व्हेन द रीडर इज ऑलरेडी इन द डेटाबेस, सो सम अदर राइटर इज ओके नॉट अलाउड. ओके, इफ द राइटर इज ट्राइंग टू राइट, सो दैट इज नॉट अलाउड. नाउ चेक करो, रीडर इज ऑलरेडी इन द डेटाबेस. नाउ अदर राइटर इज आल्सो ट्राइंग टू ओके राइट. सो चेक फॉर द कोड फॉर द राइटर हियर. void writer void, okay, while true is infinite condition. So down of DB. So when you say down of DB, now tell me what is the DB value here? What's the DB value? 0. DB value 0. So 0 पे डाउन करें तो क्या हो जाएगा? सस्पेंड होगा. So it means if you say down of DB, so DB value is 0. So on 0 if you perform down operation, so it will be what? Suspended. Okay. So यहाँ पे अगर ट्राई भी करता है तो राइटर सस्पेंड हो जाएगा. So it means what you understood here? What you understood, क्या समझ में आया? When the reader is already in the database, when the reader is already in the database, other writer is not allowed. So the condition is satisfied. Condition is satisfied. And the next, now we'll check for the second condition. What is the second condition? When the reader is there, the other reader must be allowed. Other reader must be allowed. Now check for that. So okay, when the reader is already in the database, now check for the second reader. मतलब क्या है? R2 आना चाह रहे हैं. So execute for the second reader. While reader void, okay, while true is infinite condition. Down of mutex. When you say down of mutex, okay, it becomes 1 to 0. 1 to 0. Successful down operation. Successful down operation. RC equal to RC plus 1. Now tell me, when you say RC equal to RC plus 1, RC value becomes how much here? 2. RC value becomes 2. Now you are checking this. If RC equal to 1, you say down of DB. Now tell me, RC equal to 1, true or false? RC equal to 1, true or false? What is RC value? 2. So RC equal to 1, true or false? False. So if it is false, will you do this down of DB? Yes or no? No. Okay. So RC equal to 2 है, RC equal to 1 false है. ये false है तो डाउन भी करोगे? नहीं करोगे. So सीधा क्या करेगा? up mutex करेगा. So when you say up of mutex, so mutex value becomes 0 to 1. देखो up of, okay, mutex value becomes 0 to 1. Okay. So look at here. So up of mutex किया. So mutex value becomes 0 to 1 and up operation is always successful. And next the reader will enter into what? Database. Now look at here. So second reader is okay coming into database. Second reader is coming into database. So reader 1 is already in the database. Other reader is also okay entered into database. Now look at here. So if you observe carefully, now the second condition is also satisfied. Second condition also satisfied. Okay. So when the reader is there, other reader is also allowed. So second condition also satisfied. Okay. So there is no problem at all. Okay. So now understand carefully the next. अभी next क्या करना है बताओ? Next you need to check for what? This third and fourth condition. We'll check for this third and fourth condition. When the writer is there, other reader not allowed. When the writer is there, other writer also not allowed. To check for these two conditions, what do you have to do here? To check for these two conditions, we need to bring writer into database first and later you check for the other reader and other writer. Okay. So let us do the analysis once again. So I am coming from the first. No down. So take it as a analysis 2. Analysis 2. मेरे साथ साथ में करो. RC equal to 0. Mutex equal to 1. db equal to 1. Okay, so nobody is there in the database. Note down the values. मेरे साथ साथ में करो analysis. Take it as analysis 2. इसको लिखो. Okay, so take it as analysis 2. Now first बताओ अभी क्या करेंगे? We need to bring the writer into database first. So let's bring the writer into database and later check for other reader and writer. So पहले writer को database में लाओ. Okay, so writer is coming into database. Void writer void while true. Void writer void while true. While true is infinite condition. Down of db. Now tell me, when you say down of db, so db value becomes 1 to 0. 1 to 0. Successful down operation. So if it is successful down operation, then the writer will come into what? Database. Writer will come into database. So now the first writer, okay, w1 is coming into database. Writer is coming into database. So now let the writer be in the database. Let the writer be in the database. Writer अभी database में है. So now किसको चेक करना बताओ? अभी किसको चेक करना है? Reader को चेक करना है. अपन writer को database में लाया. Now check for the reader. Now check for the reader here. Void reader void while true. Down of mutex. Okay. Now when you say down of mutex, so mutex value becomes 1 to 0. Okay, mutex value becomes 1 to 0. Successful down operation. And next you say rc equal to rc plus 1. Now when you say rc equal to rc plus 1, so rc value becomes 1 here. देखो rc value 1 हो गया. And next if rc equal to 1, you say down of db. Now tell me, rc equal to 1, true or false? True. Look at here, rc equal to 1 true है. So if rc equal to 1 true है, if rc equal to 1 true, then you have to say what? Down of db. Now tell me, when you say down of db, what is the db value? db value क्या है बताओ? 0. So db value is 0. So if you try for down of db, so यहाँ पे क्या हो जाएगा process? Suspend होगा. So it means what? Okay, so look at here. So ये पूरा reader check करके यहाँ पे आके क्या हो जाएगा? Reader suspend हो जाएगा. So it means what? What you understood? When the writer is already in the database, the other reader is not allowed into database. So now understand here. So this condition, okay, is also satisfied. Third condition also satisfied. Now the fourth condition you are having is when the writer is there, other writer. Now check for other writer allowed or not allowed? Obviously it is not allowed. You can easily check. Now look at here. So writer already in the database, writer already in the database. Now check for other writer, void writer void while true, down of db. So now tell me, when you say down of db, what is the db value? 0. db value क्या है? 0. 0 पे डाउन करे तो क्या हो जाएगा? सस्पेंड होगा. ओके, सो यहाँ पे ट्राई भी करता है तो यहाँ पे दूसरा रीडर सस्पेंड हो जाएगा. सो इट मीन्स क्या समझ में आया? व्हेन द राइटर इज ऑलरेडी प्रेजेंट इन द डेटाबेस, अदर राइटर इज ऑल्सो नॉट अलाउड. So this condition is also satisfied. So all these four conditions are satisfied. All these four conditions are satisfied. So this is the correct solution for classical readers and writers, okay, to synchronize the common database between readers and writers. Right? So that is how, okay, you need to do the analysis, and that is how the code is working. So now you will understand more in detail, okay, by solving the questions. Okay, so देखते हैं कितने लोगों को समझ में आया, कितना समझ में आया, क्या समझ में आया, अभी मालूम हो जाएगा. Okay, right. So fine. Okay. Okay. So listen here first. Okay, note down the first question. Note down the first question. What happens? What happens if we interchange what happens if we interchange, okay, इधर देखो यहाँ पे what happens if we interchange down of mutex comma rc equal to rc plus 1, down of mutex comma rc equal to rc plus 1 in the reader's code. What happens if we interchange down of mutex comma rc equal to rc plus 1 in the reader's code? So this is the question you are having. ये दोनों interchange करे तो क्या होगा? That is the question. Okay, note down the options. Options पहले लिखो, बाद में solve करो. ऑप्शंस पहले लिखो. ऑप्शन ए, नो प्रॉब्लम, the solution still works fine, still works correct. No doubt, no problem, the solution still works correct. Okay, that's the first question, first option. Option A, no problem, the solution still works correct. So option B, multiple readers are not allowed into database. Multiple readers are not allowed into database. Okay, next option C, both reader and writer will enter into database at the same time. Both reader and writer will enter into database at the same time. Okay, so note down carefully, both reader and writer will enter into database at the same time. And next, so option D, it is possible for deadlock. It is possible for deadlock. Okay, so these are the options given to you. Okay, question is very simple. Okay, ये दोनों interchange करे तो क्या होगा? That is the question. Okay, समझ में आया? Okay, so okay, let's solve properly. So question is logical. You cannot guess. Okay, आप guessing नहीं कर सकते. पूरा अच्छे से solve करो. Okay, so I'm just writing initial values. RC 0, mutex equal to 1, db equal to 1. Nobody is there in the database. Okay, so solve करो, क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करो अच्छे से. आई विल वेट 5 to 10 seconds in the live. पास करो, वीडियो पास करके पूरा अच्छे से चेक करो. ऑप्शंस आर गिवन टू यू. वीडियो पास करके सॉल्व करो. Okay, right. So let's see. Okay, how many of you solved it correct? So let's see what is the right answer. Okay, solve किए सब लोग. Okay, देखते हैं कितने लोगों का सही हो रहा है. So right answer is right answer B नहीं है. Right answer, okay, B नहीं है. Okay, right answer is okay, C for Chennai. C is the right answer. Okay, समझ में आया? So C is the right answer. So what is C here? Okay, both reader and writer will enter into database at the same time. Okay, so C is the right answer. Both reader writer will enter into database at the same time. So reader writer एक साथ में database में आएगा. Okay, कैसे आएगा? Okay, let us do the analysis. Okay, so ये दोनों interchange करने को बोला है आपको. Right. So I'm interchanging these two. Okay. So if you interchange these two, what happens? Okay, ऊपर क्या हो जाएगा बताओ? RC equal to RC plus 1. Next यहाँ पे क्या होगा? Down of mutex. Okay. So understand here. Okay, understand here. So RC equal to RC plus 1 ऊपर हो गया, down of mutex हो गया. Right. So okay, what is the answer I said? Okay, C is the right answer. Both reader and writer will enter into database at the same time. Okay. So how it is possible? Okay, just go through this first. So first reader is coming into database. ध्यान से सुनो, बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस करना है आपको, धीरे धीरे लॉजिक इंप्रूव करना है. Okay, so entire synchronization is logical. Okay, So understand here. So first reader coming into database, void reader void, okay, while true is infinite condition, rc equal to rc plus 1. When I say rc equal to rc plus 1, rc value increment होगा, so rc value क्या होगा, 1 होगा. Now let us say after incrementing rc value, assume that the reader is getting preempted. So this is R1 here. So reader 1 is getting preempted. So after incrementing RC value, the reader 1 is getting preempted. Is the point clear? Right. So now, okay, now reader 1 is getting preempted. Now the second reader is coming into database. ये idea आपको आना चाहिए. Okay, reader 1 यहाँ पे preempt हो गया. Second reader is coming into database. Now we see the second reader, void reader void, while true, RC equal to RC plus 1. Now when say RC equal to RC plus 1, now tell me RC value क्या होगा? RC equal to RC plus 1, RC value क्या होगा? 2 होगा. So next, okay, second reader अभी आ रहा है, RC value 2 करके down of mutex. So mutex value becomes 0. And next, if RC equal to 1, you say down of dB. RC equal to 1, you say down of dB. Now tell me RC equal to 1, true or false? RC equal to 1, true or false? False. If it is false, will you do this down of dB? No, down of dB नहीं करोगे. So directly क्या करोगे? आप mutex करोगे. So mutex value becomes 1. So mutex value becomes 1 and reader 2 will enter into database. Okay, reader 2 database में आ जाएगा. Okay, so now look at here. So reader 2 is coming into database. So अभी reader 2 database में आया, right? So reader 2 अभी database में आया, अभी db value क्या है देखो यहाँ पे, db value 1 है. So if you try for the writer, is that possible? Yes. So no problem, comfortably writer can enter. So void writer void while true down of db. So when you say this down of db, so db value becomes 1 to 0. Successful down operation. Now the writer will enter into database. So writer will enter into database. Now देखो अभी क्या हो गया, both reader writer coming into database at the same time. Now remember, okay, reader 1 यहाँ पे preempt हो गया, reader 1 यहाँ पे preempt हो गया. Preemption is just a temporary stop. So अगर reader 1 वापस भी आता है, reader 1 वापस आता है तो क्या होगा बताओ? When the reader 1 is coming back, you say down of mutex. Okay, mutex value becomes 1 to 0. If RC equal to 1, you say down of dB. RC equal to 1, true or false? False. If it is false, you will not say this down of dB. And next you say up of mutex. Mutex value becomes 1 and reader 1 will also enter into database. So if you check, reader 1 भी आ जाएगा database में. Is that clear? So कुछ लोग बोल रहे थे ऑप्शन बी सही होगा, कुछ लोग बोल रहे हैं ऑप्शन बी सही होगा. ऑप्शन बी में क्या था बताओ? Multiple readers are not allowed into database. So multiple readers are coming into database. There is no problem, okay, with respect to multiple readers. Multiple readers database में आ सकता है. Problem क्या है? Both reader writer coming into database at the same time. Okay, so that is the problem. So right answer is what? C. C is the right answer. Okay, so next. Okay, so make it कॉपी करना है तो अच्छे से कॉपी करो. ओके, याद रहेगा ना, राइट? कॉपी करने की क्या जरूरत है? नॉट रिक्वायर्ड. ओके, सो फाइन. नेक्स्ट, नोट डाउन द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. ओके, नोट डाउन द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. सो इसको मैं सही कर रहा हूं. पहले सही में क्या था बताओ? यहाँ पे सही में डाउन ऑफ म्यूटेक्स. ओके, व्हाट वाज हियर? ओके, एक्चुअली करेक्ट. सो like this, down of mutex and RC equal to RC plus 1. Okay, correct. So note down the next question. Next question, note down what happens. Note down next question. What happens if we interchange? What happens if we interchange if condition? If condition. Okay, इधर देखो पहले, जैसे इतना ही देखो इधर पहले. If condition and up of mutex. So if condition मतलब क्या है? So if, okay, what I mean by if condition, this entire line. So if condition and up of mutex in the reader's code. If condition means I'm talking about this entire line. ये पूरा लाइन को नीचे लिख रहा है, इसको ऊपर लिख रहा है, तो क्या होगा? Is that clear? Note down what happens if we interchange if condition and up of mutex. If condition and up of mutex in the reader's code. So that is the question. Is that clear? So options are same options. Same options. Think carefully and solve. Options are same options. Think carefully and solve. I'll wait 5 to 10 seconds in the live. Okay. So what is the right answer? Okay. Now listen here. So right answer is what? Okay, C. C only right answer. Both reader and writer will enter into database at the same time. Okay. Right answer is C only. So how C is the right answer? Okay, let's try to understand. So I'm interchanging these two. Okay. So I'm interchanging these two. Okay, look at here. So interchange करें तो क्या था बताओ यहाँ पे up of mutex, यहाँ पे up of mutex, यहाँ पे if condition if RC equal to 1, so down of DB. Okay, so this was here, right? So दोनों को interchange किया तो yeah, okay, interchange किया. Now right answer is C. How C is the right answer? Just listen here. So I'm writing here, okay, initial values लिखा है यहाँ पे, initial value RC 0, mutex 1, DB 1. Now let's say the first reader is coming into database. The first reader is coming into database. Listen carefully. Void reader void. Okay, void means you're not passing any variable. So while true is infinite condition, down of mutex. Understand here, when you say down of mutex, so what is the mutex value? 1. Okay, so when you say down of mutex, it becomes 1 to 0. Successful down operation. RC equal to RC plus 1. First reader आ रहा है, first reader इसको चला रहा है. So RC equal to RC plus 1. So RC value becomes 1. And next you say up of mutex. So mutex value becomes 0 to 1. Now let's say after doing up of mutex, assume that okay, reader 1 is getting preempted. Okay, ये idea आपको आना चाहिए. Is that clear? ये idea आपको आना चाहिए. So reader 1 is getting preempted. Okay, so reader 1 यहाँ पे preempt हो गया. Now reader 2 is coming into database. Reader 1 यहाँ पे preempt हो गया. Reader 2 is coming into database. So what happens here? Void reader void while true down of mutex. So when you say down of mutex, okay, mutex value becomes 1 to 0. RC equal to RC plus 1. So RC value becomes 2. And next up of mutex. So mutex value becomes 1. And next second reader आके इसको check कर रहा है. Second reader भी check कर रहा है. If RC equal to 1, you say down of DB. Now tell me RC equal to 1. True or false? True or false? False. So ये condition false है तो आप down of DB नहीं करोगे. And directly reader 2 will enter into what? Database. So look at here, reader 2 coming into database. Now reader 2 is entered into database. Now what is the DB value now? 1. Now if you try for the writer, allowed or not allowed? Allowed. Okay. Now check for the writer here. Void writer void while true. Okay. Infinite condition down of DB. So now tell me when you say down of DB, so DB value becomes 1 to 0. So successful down operation. And next the writer will enter into what? Database. Writer will enter into database. So now look at here. So writer 1 is coming into database. So both reader and writer coming into database at the same time. Is the point clear for everyone? Right? So now understand here. So reader 1 यहाँ पे preempt हुआ था. अगर किसी को इसके बारे में डाउट है, ओके, रीडर 1 यहाँ पे preempt हो गया था. So वहां पर preemption temporary stop है. Preemption is just a temporary stop. If the reader 1 is coming back, what you will do? Okay, if RC equal to 1, you say down of DB. Now tell me RC equal to 1. True or false? False. If it is false, okay, you will not say this and directly reader 1 will also enter into database. अगर वापस भी आता है तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, रीडर 1 वापस आके डेटाबेस के अंदर जाएगा. देखो इसका मतलब मैं क्या बताना चाह रहा हूं, मल्टीपल रीडर्स आर अलाउड. सो somebody was saying option B. So option B is not a problem. Option B में क्या है, multiple readers are not allowed in database. So multiple readers are allowed into database. इसका कोई problem नहीं है. Is the point clear for everyone? Right answer is both reader writer will come into database at the same time. So this is how, okay, you solve the problem. Okay. So next, note down the next question. Okay, if you solve all these questions, then only it is okay. Then only it means like you are understanding the code logically. Okay, right. So मैं इसको सही कर रहा हूँ आपका. Okay, सही करें तो क्या होगा बताओ. यहाँ पे क्या था? Okay, if condition. So if RC equal to 1, so you say down of DB, and next you say up of mutex. Okay. So मैं इसको सही कर दिया. Note down the next question. So initial value RC1, mutex 1, DB1. So nobody in the database. Note down the next question. What happens if we interchange? What happens if interchange down of mutex RC equal to RC minus 1 in the reader's code? what happens if we interchange down of mutex, comma RC equal RC minus 1 in the reader's code. So that is the question. Okay, remember options are same. Options are same options. I'll wait 5 to 10 seconds in the live. Remember, question is purely logical. Question is purely logical. Okay, guessing नहीं कर सकते. Same options है. Okay, ये दोनों interchange करे तो क्या होगा? Okay, that is the question. Question is purely logical. Think carefully and solve. Pause करो, मेरा वीडियो pause करो, मेरा वीडियो pause करो and solve करो. Okay, right. So, okay, if anybody is still solving, so please pause my video and solve that. Now, I am interchanging these two. Okay. So, if I interchange these two, so now what happens? Now, tell me. So, if I interchange, okay. So, बताओ यहाँ पे क्या होगा? Interchange करें तो RC equal to RC minus 1 ना, यहाँ पे क्या होगा? Down of mutex, down of mutex. Okay, so I have interchanged this. Now understand here what is the right answer. Right answer is D for Delhi. Okay, D is the right answer. It is possible for deadlock. Okay, now how it is possible for deadlock? Let's try to understand here. Deadlock means what? Okay, somebody, so look at here, so somebody may be doing wrong analysis and getting right answer. That is just a luck. Okay, कुछ लोग, उसका मतलब क्या है? कुछ लोग ऐसे ही किया, ये preempt हो गया, ये preempt हो गया, ऐसे ही हो गया, deadlock हो गया, ऐसा नहीं चलेगा. Okay, so deadlock means what? All are suspended. All the readers and all the writers are suspended and nobody is continuing the execution. So that situation is called as what? Deadlock. That situation is called as deadlock. So now let's see how that situation will arise. Okay, so पूरा ध्यान से सुनना है, पूरा ध्यान इधर ही रखो. मैं कहाँ पे प्रीएम्पशन ले रहा हूँ, किसके बाद किसको चला रहा हूँ, पूरा अच्छे से सुनो. Okay, then only will understand. Okay, right. So the first reader is coming into database. The first reader coming into database. So I am bringing the first reader here. Okay, look at here. Void reader void while true, down of mutex. When you say down of mutex, it becomes 1 to 0. RC equal to RC plus 1. So RC value becomes 1. First reader database में आ रहा है. If RC equal to 1, you say down of DB. Now tell me, RC equal to 1, true or false? True. If it is true, you say down of DB. So when you say down of DB, it becomes 1 to 0. Successful down operation. And next you will say up of mutex. So mutex value becomes 1. And next the reader will enter into what? Database. And next while leaving the database, जब database छोड़ के जा रहा है तो क्या करेगा बताओ? RC equal to RC plus 1 करेगा. When you say RC equal to RC minus 1, sorry, RC equal to RC minus 1 करेगा. So RC value क्या हो जाएगा? 0 होगा. Now let us say after decrementing RC value, assume that reader 1 is getting preempted. Okay, ये आइडिया आपको आना चाहिए. ध्यान से सुनो अच्छे से, पूरा ध्यान इधर रखो. राइट, सो RC को RC minus 1 करने के बाद रीडर 1 यहाँ पे preempt हो गया. रीडर 1 यहाँ पे preempt हो गया. Now the reader 2 is trying to enter into database. रीडर 2 अभी डेटाबेस में आना चाह रहा है, तो क्या होगा? Listen here, void reader void while true, down of mutex. Now tell me, when you say down of mutex, okay, look at here, mutex value becomes 1 to 0. Successful down operation. RC equal to RC plus 1. देखो RC वैल्यू क्या होगा? 1 होगा. अच्छे से सुनो, RC वैल्यू 1 हो गया. If RC equal to 1, okay, you say down of DB. Tell me RC equal to 1. RC equal to 1. True or false? True. If it is true, you say down of DB. When you say down of DB, what is the DB value? 0. So 0 पे डाउन किए तो क्या हो जाएगा? सस्पेंड होगा. देखो रीडर 2 यहाँ पे आके सस्पेंड हो गया आपका. रीडर 2 यहाँ सस्पेंड हो गया. राइट, रिमेंबर ध्यान से सुनो अच्छे से. रीडर 2 यहाँ पे सस्पेंड हुआ. रीडर 2 यहाँ पे सस्पेंड हुआ, मगर रीडर 1 यहाँ पे प्रीएम्प्ट हुआ, अभी भी कोई डेडलॉक नहीं आया. So still there is no deadlock because reader 2 is just suspended here and reader 1 is preempted here. Okay, and next next after that let's say writer is trying to enter. Let's see what will happen now. Okay, the writer is trying to enter. Execute the writer code. Void writer void while true down of db. So what's the db value? 0. If you try for down operation on the 0 here, okay, so it will be what? Suspended. So w1 is suspended here. Okay, writer 1 is suspended there and reader 2 is suspended there. Okay, reader 2 is suspended here, but remember reader 1 is what? Preempted. Okay, abhi bhi deadlock nahi aaya because preemption is just a temporary stop. Okay, so now understand here, reader 1 preempt hua, that is just a temporary stop. When the reader 1 is coming back, okay, reader 1 is coming back, what it will do? It will execute the second statement here. Okay, continuation next karega. Next statement kya hai? Down of mutex. What is the mutex value? 0. म्यूटेक्स वाले 0. सो 0 पे डाउन करे तो क्या होगा? सस्पेंड होगा. देखो रीडर 1 यहाँ पे सस्पेंड हो गया. सो रीडर 1 आपका यहाँ सस्पेंड हुआ, राइटर 2 यहाँ पे सस्पेंड हुआ, सॉरी रीडर 2 यहाँ पे सस्पेंड हुआ, रीडर 1 यहाँ पे, रीडर 2 यहाँ पे एंड राइटर 1 यहाँ पे सस्पेंड हुआ. अगर कोई नया रीडर भी आना चाह रहा है, if any new reader is trying to enter into database, all the new readers will suspend here. Down of mutex. What is the mutex value? 0. So 0 पे down किया तो क्या होगा? Suspend होगा. So all the reader 3, reader 4, all the readers will suspend here. And if any new writer is trying to enter, all the writers will suspend here. W2, W3, W4, all the writers will suspend here. Because db value क्या है? 0. So 0 पे डाउन किया तो क्या होगा? सस्पेंड होगा. So all the readers will suspend here, all the writers will suspend here, and nobody will continue the execution, and that leads to deadlock. Is that clear? Right? So this is how you need to solve the problem. Is that clear? So remember, if you simply interchange these two statements here, the major problem is coming. It is deadlock. If you simply interchange these two statements, the entire solution becomes wrong. If you interchange these two statements, entire solution becomes wrong. So that is the reason when I gave the definition of the semaphore, I have written clearly, semaphore, I told you clearly, semaphore is a technique to implement the synchronization. Semaphore is a technique to implement the synchronization. If you are using that technique in a proper manner, you will get the correct solution. If you are using that technique in an improper manner, then that will give you what? Wrong results. So remember, improper usage of semaphore will also give the wrong results. Improper use of semaphore will also give wrong results. So that you should get. Okay. Now some students are thinking that sir इतना analysis हमको कैसे आएगा? Okay. आप यहाँ preemption किया एक को, उसके बाद इसको लाया, उसके बाद इसको लाया, उसके बाद वापस इसको चलाया. So इतना सारा हमको कैसे मालूम होगा? Okay. So that is the logic. Slowly you will understand. Is that clear? So it will not come only in one day. It will not come in only one day. Is that clear? So इंजीनियरिंग में पता नहीं क्या पढ़े क्या नहीं पढ़े, भगवान जाने. Is that clear? So इसलिए so अभी थोड़ा धीरे धीरे इंप्रूव करना पड़ेगा. इसलिए जो भी यहाँ पे कोड दिया गया, हर एक लाइन को समझना चाहिए. ये लाइन क्यों दिया गया, ये लाइन क्यों दिया गया, ये लाइन क्यों दिया, इसका मतलब क्या है, अगर इसको इंटरचेंज किया तो क्या होगा, इसको हटाए तो क्या होगा. सो इसलिए सारे चीज आपको लॉजिकली समझना चाहिए. Is the point clear for everyone? So this is how you solve the problem. So that is readers writers problem. Is that clear? So next you will take up some gate question on the readers writers. So now you will understand how the questions are coming. So go to your workbook. Let's solve the question. Page number 95. So it's a common data question. So this is a gate question only. Page number 95, question number 19 and 20. Page number 95. Question number 19 and 20. So reader side is problem का है. Page number 95. Question number 19 and 20. So solve one by one. पहले 19 solve करो, उसके बाद 20 solve करो. So I'll explain the detailed solution. In the continuation. Please solve the problem. Pause my video and solve that.